So wiring diagram
goes in there.
if anyone's interested.
Yep.
Well, they will. They're going to have a local guy putting it in, I suppose, unless you want to go and do it.
Well, I'll commission it here, so it's going.
Plug and play.
These I've now got an update USB at the top.
Yeah.
So you can plug.
Now, is this thing chipped?
As in?
You can diagnose from...
No. The next ones have got a little aerial, Wi-Fi aerial.
Yep.
Do I have one here? No. No, this is a same version as that one. So, but yeah, the next lot I'm doing now have got a Wi-Fi aerial on them,
right.
So they can connect to the internet.
Right.
So the latest update, I think since you were there, this has now got a RTC in it, a real-time clock.
Oh, okay.
So obviously the date and the time, and that's just a screensaver. So when you go back to your main screen,
there you go.
So if you turn it off for, I think it's something like 40 seconds, it'll then revert back to the screensaver.
Right. Okay.
Or you can do that. It'll tell you. Now one neat function in that.
Yep.
Is
you can lock it out.
If I put the right password in. This has also got a maintenance reminder, which is set. So if I set that back to this month, it will then now come up with maintenance due. And just a reminder,
yeah.
Hey, you need your oven serviced, and it won't go off until you go in there and reset that
which
password.
is good, because most of these bastards don't clean in, and then when it shits itself, you're the bastard because it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
So I'm bloody impressed with that.
I'll put that back. 12, and then you need to because it's got maintenance there, you just need to reset the memory, and that little red light will go off, and now it's gone.
Fantastic.
There's a couple of error codes in there now. I can force it to do it, but we'll wait. So if I scroll back, you'll see check temp comes up real quick. So if the oven doesn't reach 100 degrees within 120 seconds, it comes up check temp.
Okay.
Obviously something. If it doesn't like within 120, there's obviously something wrong, and it'll say check temp on there. The next version screen I've got sound and visual audio.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the audio
because that can be a bloody nuisance.
Yeah, it's only a little noise. So if there's something wrong, it tells you, because you go off and make your pizzas, you come back, stick it on the belt,
and find it's going nowhere.
And it's not going anywhere. If you have an audio alarm, then you know something's going on. What else has changed? You can actually see that little timer in the corner there.
Yeah.
If I turn that on, it'll start counting. Alright, yeah, tick, tick, tick.
Pretty good.
That's a fan.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. I've got another fan for this one. I'm not happy with that. It's got a bit of a vibration on it.
Yeah, the shafts on the older ovens have that problem.
Yeah, so I've got another one. I'm going to swap it out. Now this picture here, again, that's another option. I've been putting the customer logos on there.
All right.
If they want it. This particular one is a raw dough, so when it gets to temperature, it'll change to a cooked pizza.
That's good.
We can probably, which is just a bit gimmicky.
I know. A lot of the folks working in these places, English is not their first language.
That ticking in here is actually the current sensor for the motor.
Oh, okay. Because normally you hear the ignition pack going tick, 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 tick.
Yeah, that won't come on. You notice this timer here, there's a light flashing.
Yep.
So that's the timer for 30 seconds, and then the lower motor will come on.
Yep.
Then I'll go back to the motor.
So where's your, that's your pack there?
That's for the motor.
That's for the motor?
Speed control. Ignition motor is still the same.
Oh, so you got this, oh yeah, so you've still got the Honeywell
That's the one.
90-second lockout.
That's the one.
Yeah, okay. I like them. They're easy to replace. You can buy them locally.
So as I said before, obviously there's a sticker on there that tells us what version screen, what version MCU it's got on there, and
This thing's better than you.
yeah.
That's why the squirrel cage ain't running.
That probably happens, yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually got a pressure switch. I was going to put on a pressure switch so that, but
It's not overcapitalised, is it?
Yeah, that's not. The 1046s, I've got that anyway.
Yeah.
So we can turn all that on. That regulator just needs a little bit of a tweak. That's for this guy here. So now we can see the motor's on.
Yep.
You can see we've got 240 volts. High limit's good. Now the power's just gone to the ignition module. Now the PV's just come on. That's really cool. And now when it lights, the MV will come on.
Because all we had was just a light on the Mitsubishi PLC back in the 90s, and it went green, all good.
Yeah, good to go.
Yeah, it was orange, not so good.
Yeah.
It was red, we've got real issues.
The 1046 version I do has got another two lights here.
Yeah, okay. That's a lot tidier than the logic controllers and all the other controllers.
Yeah. Good movie. I love that movie. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I think she's hot.
She is. She is really hot. Again, it's telling us the version number of the screen. RT6. It's got the clock on it.
Yep.
And the control version in here. I'm going to add another version because I want hardware.
Surprisingly quiet, right?
Yeah, but you can feel there's a vibration. I'm not
Yeah, but
happy
that's
with
the
that.
sharp.
Yeah.
Most of it's that.
Yeah, I'm not happy with the vibration.
So we'll take it out. We've got a few spares.
I've got one at the rewind. It was ready on Friday.
Right.
Let's swap it out. So we're ready because going to Jurien Bay, I want it to be
Mickey
a
Mouse.
long way to go.
Yeah.
I've got all the spare parts support now, so if anything does go by the wayside, we've got everything to. The boxes are interchangeable, plug and play.
Any tool can do it, basically.
Don't have to worry about internal boards if there's a fault with this. Not that there would be, but take the whole thing out. You don't worry about fucking around with the boards inside it.
Right.
Plug and play. So yeah, that's that.
Alright, cool. Yeah. Buy them by the box load.
Yeah, well these are 24 volt. I've gone 24 volt now.
36 we used to get them in.
Yeah. I've gone away from the 240 volt ones.
Yeah.
These are 20. These are actually got more
Right.
CFM in them than the 240, which is really weird.
Still pretty good. I mean, but you're right. Needs to be changed out. You know the other reason for the vibration? All of the fans, the Lincoln forgot to put weights on them, little screws on them, and you'll see the blue dot on the fan.
Yeah, Lincoln forget a lot of things.
Hey?
Lincoln forget a lot of things.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, thermocouples.
This will fit an XLT, no problem on.
Yeah.
So, just need to bang the casters and that's it.
Yeah, you do need to cut a slot about here in the Lincoln because the XLT will just sit inside it.
Oh, really?
In the slot, so there'll be a little gap across the back.
Right.
Yeah, so you can hear that.
Yeah. Just make sure we don't have that when it goes up to Jurien Bay.
Yeah. I've got to clean the belt. So
Yeah. When do you think we'll have it ready, approximately? I think they need it ASAP at the moment.
I just want to get that ignition module done, the fan done, the door. But other than that, it's good to go. So it's ready sometime. That's right.
When they're ready? Okay, so Wednesday, Thursday I can come and pack.
What else is there? Also, the thermostat, it's got alarms now, so if I go and pull the screen there, if I go and pull the thermocouple off, it will go to 0, the oven will actually turn off.
Okay, so yeah, thermocouple
See that switch turned off?
Yep,
That's
so
it.
it automatically shuts itself down.
Yeah, and it'll say high temp fault. Same if it goes the other way, so if it's open circuit or closed circuit, that comes up. So. Which is something we didn't have before. And the other one was the actual screen. If the screen fails, if you smack it with a hammer and break it, so I'm just going to get the screen there now.
Yep.
The oven will
Shut
turn
itself
off.
down.
Yeah, it'll just turn off.
Let's not hit things with hammers. Laugh, I had a 640, sorry, 840. Somehow they managed to smash the screen. I had 2 of them in a row. This just doesn't happen. And it's a hell to pay to try and get them to work again. As in the PLCs and everything else that's going
Yeah,
on.
exactly right. So it's got
I love that. It's
it's got cool down on it. emergency switch, the little red light comes on. If you've got the, so if you walk in, my oven doesn't work, is the red light on? Yes,
Yes.
while your switch is
Probably pushed in.
Pushed
the
in.
cleaner's leant against it.
Yeah. Yep. So when all else fails, the switch.
That's good. Because people get shit caught in the belts.
Yeah, exactly.
Plastic containers are their favourites.
So everything is goes into memory.
You'll give them
Now-
a walkthrough on the phone?
Yeah. So again, the set, you've got an emergency stop switch there if you wanted to stop the belt for whatever reason. That. Of course, if that is in the off position, no matter what you do there, the belt won't work. So
Right, okay.
they have to
So
be aware that if that doesn't work, they've got to go into the screen and make sure that's pressed.
Yep, and that's out.
Yep.
That red light's off.
Yep. So the information, so that's on 41. Information screen will tell us now 41 is 6.5 minutes.
Yep.
And usually it's about 10 seconds every increment.
Okay.
If we go another 10 seconds, 20 seconds.
Perfect.
This part hasn't really changed much since the original version. The next model, what I'm doing is actually reversing the belt as well. I'm going to get rid of that.
Right, okay.
I'm going to get rid of that stop switch because stop the belt.
I don't really, because what'll happen is they'll decide to get moved on and the belt will run the wrong way, and that's how you destroy belts over time.
Yeah,
pretty
well, either I'm
quickly.
going to put it in the password screen or
Yep.
in the.
Oh, okay, so you'll have it
screen.
one step back,
Yeah,
so they know they have to change the belt around and shit they want.
yeah. So it'll either be in here.
But if something gets caught in here, the quick way is so you can just go boom.
If something gets caught, the first thing you do is ram it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, mainly for the blodgets and the bigger ovens where you've got some space you have to work with.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, well, there's three ways of reversing the belt. One is
M1 to M2M.
disconnecting one of the direction cables onto that controller, which will reverse the
No.
belt. The other way is a software version.
Nobody touches inside oven.
Yeah. So, and then the other way, that's what I thought, is doing it on the screen, which
Screen's good.
is a better
Yeah,
way.
no,
So
way
that'll be
better.
on the new screens I'm using only on the blodgets.
Look, some of the techs are really smart in some of these places. Some of them aren't so smart. But even if they are smart, I don't want their hands in the box unless somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because then it just becomes a litany of.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. There's no need to reverse. I've actually been trying to find security screws so that you can't actually take off because you don't want. There's no need to go in there at all.
Don't
There's
be
nothing
touching.
in there that is
None of your
repairable.
business, basically.
Yeah, even for a tech. I mean,
Yeah.
if there's something wrong, you change the whole box.
Yeah. No, it's good. I like the idea of just being going, boom, fucking new box. What is a new box worth, by the way? What do you sell it for?
I have. I'll put it in there. I've actually listed out all the pricing of it all now.
Oh, good.
I don't remember off the top of my head what it works out to be, but
Thousands.
no. I think it was 800 something.
So it's not bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Nothing in these ovens is
The
800.
screen was 300 something.
Okay.
Something like that. So that's, and the gearbox is. I'll show you there's two gearboxes over there.
Oh, yeah.
Separate parts. So if the gearbox shits itself, then you just whack a new gearbox on without having to change the motor.
That's good. So you've made it really user-friendly.
Exactly. Yeah. So
We're going to have to call you Ron Wolf shortly.
I've gone through. Yeah. I've gone through. These are the little ones I'm probably going
Please
to use
don't turn into Ron Wolf.
No, that'd be fun. Build me own. I could call it
Lucy.
LXT. This is probably what I'm going to use on the blodgets. I've got to trial that. This is a planetary motor.
Yep.
It's a little bit more stronger than a worm drive.
Right.
But we'll see how we go. There's a
Well,
couple of-
you're sort of
couple
going
of
past to
versions.
where they naturally are now. So I
Yeah.
mean, you're way over-teched it compared to where Lincoln is now. I mean, Lincoln
Yeah.
is just price point. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Same with XLT. It's all about price point.
So
You're not-
that's two versions I'm trialing out for the
The next one.
for the blodgets, only because we need a bit more torque
Yes.
to drive a bigger belt.
And a lot more weight.
This one,
Well, Domino's are going to, they'll test it.
yeah. I can stand on that belt and it'll
Yes,
drag me along.
I've told people that story.
But you don't want to have it too strong, because if something does, if you're getting dragged by the collar, so there is a point where it will
Cut out when it's too much. Amps.
Yeah, so if we simulate, I don't know if it'll do it, but once we get around 100, it should start to
Call it quits.
maybe not to make it alive, but if I go back to slow and then all of a sudden give it a belt, no, okay, not going to do it. These motors are better, the torque is better at a lower speed, which is the...
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, that's fine, you can do that all day long.
But it stops.
But it stops.
That's really cool. You just like the sound.
Yeah.
With the incense going, playing your fucking oven.
Playing Lucy all day long. And another thing, look, there's a few small things in here. If you press and hold that, nothing happens, but if you do it with the temperature, it will start scrolling on its own.
Right.
And I made that purposely because you don't want to stand there all day. Not that you change your temperature much, but you can do that, or you can press and hold it. There was a bit of coating that I added in there.
Oh, cool.
And that's the cooked pizza. It'll go away in a second once it...
There you go, back to your fresh dough.
So every time you change the screens, it loads up different memory. So when you go back, it has to go back to the screen. So
it's a fairly intuitive.
Yeah. So it takes, obviously there's a green light there for the belt. Turn that on.
Jeez, Lincoln's had filters, that's a first.
Yeah, that's...
I'm just taking the piss, by the way.
Yeah. Green light comes on for that. Green light comes on for that. This was actually the Blodgett version. I thought, with all this, and I like all that, so I'm just making that across.
No, I think it's a good idea. I mean, I need Blodgetts, and we need to talk about what we're going to do for the Domino's thing.
Instructions are there. Press that button, all your instructions. If you've got glasses on, you can probably read it.
Gently touch power switches on screen.
Gently should be highlighted.
Underlined. In inverted commas.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm going to arrow off now. I think we're done. 20-minute bloody video is probably too long for most people's concentration.